Shukria Barakzai is a former parliamentarian and a women's rights activist in Afghanistan. Shukria, thank you so much indeed for your time. I mean, what concerns you the most right now?
I think about the future of Afghanistan, and especially what may happen after 31st of August, how the Afghan government will shape and how they will maintain the women's rights and all those achievements that we sacrificed for it in the last 2 decades. And how about the security, how the challenge of Daesh, how the Afghans will face the Daesh, and how we will be able to tolerate the brutal rules of Taliban. For instance, right now when I'm talking to you, a group of journalists was been arrested by the Taliban, a local journalist, that they were aiming to go and flee and leave Afghanistan, but it didn't happen. At the meantime, a group of women also was surrounded by Taliban, which is they were not allowed to leave their places and their home. So it's a big question. We don't know how the future will be, except if the international community and Afghan people put their effort together to make Taliban to be accountable for what they will be promising, and of course to live Afghanistan with and respect the fundamental human rights as it should be.
There isn't a single country in the world that has yet said they will stay beyond the August the 31st deadline to continue the evacuations. It does seem from the numbers that we're seeing that most Western nations have removed their own nationals, but that Afghan nationals may be left behind. What will happen if Afghans can't leave from Kabul airport?
As far as I'm in contact with all in different groups, there are great fear among those people, especially when they work with foreign troops. As an interpreter, especially those whom they work with the Afghan National Security Forces, women's rights activists, politicians, ministers, and all those vulnerable and crisis groups, that they feel fear because the announcement of Taliban also was clear. They say they will not let any Afghan to go and flee Afghanistan. Beside of that, when everything is going to be under control of Taliban, of course, the time for a clear revenge will come out. Right now, target killing is one of the fashion, which is continuously. It's happening without any prosecution. So they're going and killing people. Door-to-door searching is continuing. So these things are going at the moment. But unfortunately, since everybody's just focusing about the Kabul airport and about the evacuation, no one knows what is else going on around the country. So it seems to me like just only China, Russia, Pakistan, and Iran, they announced their embassies will remain open. So the rest of the world didn't say anything yet. I think everybody is just waiting for the government and the shape of government and under which name and which identity the Taliban will be a coalition government, it will be a national unity government, or which kind of government they will go through to. But if again it comes the Emirate Islamic of Taliban, I think there will be no hope for anyone to keep political and diplomatic relation with the Taliban. That's why the evacuation is according to the schedule was been done before, and Taliban also was been resisting that the same day, and they will be insisting that should be as a red line for them, and that's it's happening. But there's no hope for those whom they will be remaining as a great supporter and worker and employees for the international organization, including all those interpreters that they work with their army forces in Afghanistan. Because the time of revenge comes, and they are taking already revenge. If you see how the airport will be surrounded by Taliban at the moment, and the limitation of those that they get permission to get into the airport, it's a clear message to everyone and everybody.
Is there a thought in your mind that the Taliban may stay as rulers of Afghanistan for a long time to come? As you say, we don't know what kind of government they're going to establish. It's already been said by one of their spokespeople that it won't be a democracy by Western definitions. Is there a chance that they might occupy all the most important positions, including presidency, leadership, whatever you want to call it, without ever holding elections, and essentially become almost some kind of dictatorship?
As far as I see and I witness, for the time, their nominees all are mullahs. starting what they are appointing and what they are hiring for different jobs. They are not professional people. They don't have the scale of leadership and management. So all the mullahs will be going and taking important positions. And which kind of government it will be, definitely, I can say that even from now, unfortunately, there will be nothing in the name of democracy or democratic system. What Taliban says, their political group, it's way different than their militant doing on the ground. So should be a definition between their ideas and action among the Taliban, what they are saying and what they are doing. So my experience and from my understanding, what they are saying is not important. What they are practically doing, that is important. And I believe they should be accountable on the practice they are making on the ground at the moment. I think Taliban from the very beginning, they say they don't believe, they don't trust democracy. They don't believe equal rights among citizens or human beings between men and women, according to the law. And they were being very clear about bringing back their own government. But probably, just probably, I think might be they put some of other political groups that right now they are talking and negotiating about power sharing. But that power share will be just a structure, just a phase, not the faith they had to have. A coalition government or government based on democracy or government to be elected and represent the people of Afghanistan. If you see the people are putting their life in danger at the moment, all across the country or the borders are being pressurized by the people because they want to leave and flee from Afghanistan. If you see the circumstance situation of Kabul airport, that's a clear message that people don't want to live under control of Taliban or under their government. But at the meantime, I think even those, the younger generation that they never had experience whom the Taliban are and how they was before, I think they are happy with some small little changes that for the time we can see. But we have to be careful about after 31st of August, what things may change and how many eyes will control Afghanistan and how Afghans will be suffered or not. So I hope and I pray for a political settlement that Afghanistan and Afghans, we as Afghan, we deserve to live in prosperity and security. But if it's another cage for Afghans to live in, I think life will be extremely difficult. Or another period or page of revenge and taking fight against Daesh or other groups, that will be another chaos in Afghanistan.
Shukria Barakzai, thank you so much for your time.